Alrighty guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the Rec Report. Thanks for sticking with us. Today we're talking about our preferences for knife steels when it comes to everyday carry blades, some of our biggest knife pet peeves, and the brand with the most rabid fan base. Stick around, all that's coming to you guys on Rec Report.
Never gets this one.
Hey, what's up? All right, Everett, so what are we drinking this week?
All right, today we have something from the Coffee Mess. It's a local coffee shop here, about 10 minutes from our shop. We are drinking their Dark Forest. It's their dark roast. The owner over there, Tim, started in 2000 on his professional coffee career. Traveled around, eventually made his way back here in 2014 where he teamed up with a little donut shop.
Cool.
And now they're roasting all their own coffees.
And which roast are we drinking today?
It's called Dark Forest.
It's really good. Even though we had to do it in the French press, because you know, we work with what we have around here.
It's awesome.
It's really
got
good.
Myself a cup today.
Yeah, you know, if Riley will drink it, it's pretty damn good. Did you say he started his professional coffee career in 2000?
Yep.
Is that before you started your professional life career, Riley?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
All right, guys, so let's hop into it. First thing I wanted to talk about today is brands that have rivalries with one another. Can you think of any? What's your favorite that has a nice little rivalry going?
Microtech and Heretic.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Pretty good rivalry.
They always set up their booths right next to each other at
Yep.
Blade Show.
Little father-son
family
competition.
rivalry.
Yeah. I think this is more of a question about fans that have rivalries with one another as opposed to the actual brands themselves. I don't see too much competition or direct competition between manufacturers or anything like that, but I do see a lot of times people get their knives compared to one another consistently, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that can kind of make the fans feel like there might be a little bit of a rivalry. To me, I think the Hinderer Chris Reeve rivalry is awesome. They're kind of they were both part of the big three at the very beginning when it came to high-end U.S.-made knives. They're both heavy-duty in different ways, strong titanium frame locks that are meant to be used. Now, did they always get used? No. But that's the one that comes to my mind most often. So what do you guys think about that?
We also have just the standard Benchmade Spyderco between the lightweight stuff. So
That's
everyone's
true.
always comparing lightweight Para 3 to the Bug Out.
Yep.
Like always.
Yep. What would you take?
Bug Out.
Bug out?
Probably the Bug Out. Like
Oh, I'm gonna play
better.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm a big Para 3 guy. I'm not so much of a Para 3 lightweight guy, but when it comes between the two of them, I'm a compression lock guy. And I know you see that
Not a huge
face.
fan.
Yeah, I know you're not. I remember the first time that we were out there shooting a video in the woods together. You said, hey, you want to see something cool? Had your PM2 in your hand. There's a branch, and you just went whack right on the back of the spine. Made it fail. It scared the crap out of me because I thought you were going to show up with no fingers. Yeah, you see how you say that right now, but there she is. So the proof is in the pudding. Okay, guys. Personal grail knives. When I say that, what's the first thing that comes in your mind?
Brian Brown.
Yeah?
Ever since Blade Show and you introduced me to him, super cool dude.
He is.
Really cool knives.
Yep. One of his custom pieces.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be sweet. So he's still in double digits when it comes to custom pieces. So anything that you were to get at this point would be one of his first 100 pieces, which is really, really cool to catch a young man just first getting his footing in the market. He's getting a lot of attention right now, and I think for good reason. Like you said, he's an awesome dude. His designs are taking the knife community by storm. The Jaeger is the one that most people know. The production Jaegers are the kind of knives that sell out instantaneously from his site. And man, he just puts out some really cool stuff. Could not be a better guy to talk to.
He's really cool.
So humble. Yeah, he's a great dude. Shout out Brian. Appreciate you, brother. Everett, what about you? Grill knife?
Pretty much anything from Porca
Okay.
these days. Like, I've achieved my previous grail, and it wasn't everything I wanted it to be, being the bodega.
Oh yeah, the bag.
Just had a lot of issues.
Yeah,
But anything from Porca these days would be kind of top of the line.
absolutely. For me, it would be a. I know this is a little bit run of the mill. At Chris Reeves Sabenza 21. I have a lot of people in my life. I know they're not so common anymore nowadays, the 21s, I should say. But I have a lot of people in my life that have a lot of Chris Reeves, a lot of cool Chris Reeves.
Yep.
And every time I handle a 21, especially one with a cool graphic or something interesting about it, I'm like, man, I want this. And I would sell the wheels off my car to buy one of those if I could find one right now. So when it comes to grails, kind of leads into something you were talking about earlier, Ev, with paying more for a handmade knife that might have a little bit of issues than something production and just completely laser cut, pristine. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I know you were going to talk about that.
Yeah, it's basically wanted to try to get your guys' opinions on, are you okay with spending kind of that handmade price to have something that might not be 100%?
Okay.
Personally, I am.
Yeah.
Because I would rather support the guy that's in there with his hands doing it as opposed to these big corporations personally. But I'm perfectly okay with a few issues.
Yeah.
As long as the build is still there, if the grind is off just a little bit, it's not a huge deal.
Right.
I think I agree with you guys. First off, I think sometimes those little hiccups, those little imperfections, they just show they're like almost the signature that the knife is handmade.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like if something came out and ended up looking like it was produced by Riot and it was made in someone's garage, you might not even have the specialness. I mean, it would be really impressive. You'd be like, wow, this guy's super dialed in. But I think that little bit of character that those imperfections provide, that's like that next step when it comes to specialness. You know then that your knife is literally unique.
Right.
Because there's very low likelihood, especially with low production number customs like that the same or a knife of the same model is going to have the same imperfections. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really cool. So I'm also personally willing to spend a little bit more cash to get something handmade, especially like how we were talking about Brian Brown. Like you got to meet him, shake his hand, talk about. We had a drink with him, you know, like talking about what's going on in his life on a personal level. And then to think about him doing everything from cutting that micarta to grinding the blade to putting the final edge on there to tightening it up and tuning it and everything like that. That just kind of takes those things to the next level when it comes to specialness, you know. So I think that's really, really cool. All right, guys. So what are some of your biggest knife pet peeves, whether they're a feature that you see on a knife that you absolutely hate, or something that people do when you hand them your nice knives, or just something like that, you know? Like what, I can think of 10 right off the top of my head that are my knife pet peeves, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
One of mine personally, like, I know it's conspiracy, but they don't want to hand you an open knife. They think it's bad luck.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, I
think it's
never
perfectly fine.
I never knew that was a thing until I
Yeah.
started working at REC, where you I always close the knife before I hand it to someone because I just think that's safe practice. But and then they'll have that moment where they're like, "Did you hand this to be open or closed?" And I'm like, why? And then they have to explain, well, it's bad luck to hand it back closed when it came to you open or whatever, or to close another man's knife. Yeah, it's so strange.
Just don't quite understand that one.
Yeah, that's a strange one. How about when you loan someone a knife and they go ahead and sharpen it?
Yeah,
You got a
horror
nice
story with that.
Yeah, I have a horror story with that. And Phil, you know who you are, brother. This story is about you. So you hand someone a knife as a loaner for them to take home and use and whatnot. And it's got a nice factory edge on it, and you return it and something's a little off, right? They put an edge on it. What if you wanted to put that first edge on your knife? Or what if you wanted to sharpen it in a different way? But, you know, whatever.
I had someone at a previous job sharpening my knife in the back of a can opener knife sharpener.
What knife was it?
It was a Spyderco. I can't remember what it was.
Oh gosh.
I was highly upset.
Should they
It was the Kiwi.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So they violently reprofiled your knife.
Just it was destroyed.
It's not the factory edge.
Another one that kind of makes me laugh is whenever someone doesn't, or some people when they don't have an assisted knife, they'll flick it open, use their whole wrist to get
Oh
the knife.
yeah.
That
When
is
it's
a big
smooth
one for
enough
me.
just to flip it open.
Yeah.
I have guys that come in and they'll wrist rocket Chris Reeves.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Well, I think that comes from people when they have kind of lower end knives, or they're used to playing with lower end knives like that. Like if you're playing with an Ozark trail knife that's on, it's on those plastic bushings, and you really need to put a little wrist behind it for the blade to be fully deployed and locked and everything like that. And they're not used to something on washers or something on bearings, where if you're to do that and then that stop pin's taking a beating,
Yeah.
you know.
It's bad.
Yeah, so that's a little sketchy. How about when you loan someone a knife and you just know that they're going to use it for non-knife purposes? Like they're going to be scraping a sticker off their car window. They're going to be using it like a flathead screwdriver.
Pry bar.
That one kills me. Another one is when companies will put a secondary locking mechanism on the knife. So there's a liner lock, or there's another form of a lock, and you gotta like do acrobatics to pull one locking lever and then push the other lock bar in. I hate that. All right, guys. So we were talking about our sweet spots when it came to EDC pocket knives, talking about EDC fixed blades. I want to get more into that. What is your favorite steel when it comes to just everyday use? Nothing crazy, just a knife that you're gonna carry around with you to work, to the grocery store. You're gonna be opening up packages with it, stuff like that. What do you guys choose?
For a while, I carried our exclusive 10B.
Yeah.
And that steel was awesome.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite ones.
Absolutely. That's another one where it's not very common, so there's not so much talk about it. But that is an awesome steel, U.S. produced, obviously, which is super cool. Toughness is there. It can take a patina. So you got to watch your back, unless you're into that. I know a lot of people are into
Did
that.
have the coated one.
Oh, you had the DLC ones?
Yeah.
Say you're a tank for that. How about you?
It's gonna be either 154 or XHP,
Okay.
between which kind of perform the same,
Yeah, they do perform really similarly.
but easy to maintain.
Absolutely. I think every time I hear about that they perform so similarly, I'm like, when I hear the phrase XHP, I'm like, wow, that sounds like a super steel.
Right.
Because naming convention is so crucial when it comes to marketing blade steel, I feel like. I mean, Bowler's got it locked down because it sounds space age and cool. M390, K390. They even have a version of D2. I forget what it's called, but it's another letter 3 number kind of naming convention, and it sounds awesome. The ones that I think sound really cool are LMAX, Rex 45, M4, Magna Cut. They all sound super badass. They sound like just something you'd make a weapon out of. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting to think about that. They do perform really similarly. I think for me, when it comes to my favorite blade steels, I'm kind of getting more accustomed to carbon steels, tool steels. I think they have a lot of benefits, especially when you have something like EDCI on the market.
Yep.
So we obviously don't live around any water. We're in central Ohio, so there's no ocean, there's no sea salt floating around in the air to corrode our blades.
Humidity.
Yeah, all we have is humidity and sweat. So for us, it's really easy to manage corrosion, especially with those kind of products. So K390 is super cool.
Yep.
It's got the edge retention and the toughness that people are looking for. The only drawback is the corrosion resistance. Maximate, another one that's got awesome edge retention, and it's a lot of people's favorite. Still, for me, I know we were talking about this, like it's a little bit overplayed. M390 204P 20CV. Right now, for something super low maintenance, like I carry my Malibu all the time.
Yeah.
That one's in 20 CV. I got it secondhand even in like December, and then the first time I had to get it sharpened was last month. So 6 months of solid use out of a knife, not every day, but a lot of use on a knife without a sharpening.
We like to loan that one out to people too.
That's true. Yeah, that's a loaner knife because that's a knife that a lot of people want, and it's not expensive, but it's a little bit difficult to find. So whenever someone's like, you know what, I really like to try Malibu, I grab my backpack. I'm like, you want to carry mine for like 2 weeks or whatever? So yeah, that's a great loaner knife. But 20CV 204P, that's an awesome setup in my opinion. So last week we were talking about Vero knives. You mentioned that a Vero X Hinderer collab would be super badass. I tend to agree. It got me thinking, what would be a dream collaboration for you guys between two manufacturers?
I think mine's already happened, and it was the Shiro Chris Reeve collab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kinda went under the radar. Like you mentioned it to people, and they're like, "Wait, that happened?" But it was just an incredible collab
It was.
in the community.
Okay, mine also involves Chris Reeve. Chris Reeve X ProTech.
That would be really cool.
That would be
awesome.
sweet. So I know the Reeve integral lock, the frame lock is just it's part of that knife. Like they need to have it. I think if an auto frame lock that doesn't happen. So I think a button lock, either manual button lock Sabenza or a button lock auto Sabenza with the springs and the action brought to you by
That could be cool.
ProTech will be incredible.
Fun fact: years ago, Chris Reeve tried to do a collab with CRKT,
Really?
and it was going to have like plastic handles, but they couldn't figure out a way to make the frame lock work. Obviously, moving it into a different material.
No way.
So they just kind of nixed the whole project.
Because he wouldn't go away from the frame lock.
They just couldn't make it work.
Okay.
There's like a few prototypes in existence.
Whoa. I wonder if they're all at CRKT museums and headquarters. And
Don't know where they're at, but
that's pretty cool.
they tried to do a budget Sabenza.
That'd be, yeah, no,
That'd be
that's
really
actually
cool.
pretty cool. But I know that might be sacrilegious to some, so I'm sorry. But I think that would be really cool. But starting with something as high quality as a Sabenza and then moving in that direction would be really cool. It probably wouldn't be as sturdy as a standard manual frame lock Sabenza, but I think it would just have insane amounts of cool factor. I think that would be really, really cool. I think another one is I would like to see some more of like the traditional designers of fixed blades, like an LT collab with someone that does amazing folders. I think that those guys, they have designs in their head. I'm sure of it. I'm sure they do. That if they had the capability or the time even to make folders, that they would, and they would be awesome. So I think that would be another kind of cool direction for some of those traditional manufacturers of fixed blades to move into that direction in a high quality way, though. You know, I think that would be really sweet. All right, guys, kind of a controversial question. Brands with the most enthusiastic / if you're going to take a little bit more of a negative tinge on it, rabid fan base.
Chris Reeve. Speaking as sacrilegious.
Yeah, come on.
Just previously, those guys are cut and dry.
Yeah.
It has to be this way.
Yeah.
If you modify it, it's a problem.
Yeah.
If you have anything negative to say, they're at your throat. So those guys are pretty rabid.
They're exceedingly loyal.
Yes.
If we're gonna put it that way. I think in a similar vein, Microtech guys. Listen, I'm a huge Chris Reeve guy. I'm a huge Microtech guy. So this in no way is coming as any disrespect to any of the fans or the manufacturers. But Microtech guys are another breed. You know, like they want, like when someone gets into Microtech, they want. If they get into LUDTs, they're gonna get every color, every blade finish, serrated, non-serrated. You know, like they're gonna get all of them, and I think that's awesome. I see a lot of Benchmade guys. You know, there's a huge number of Benchmade fans that are buying every single release. That I think that's a pretty rabid fan base as well, which is awesome. And then Spyderco exclusive guys.
Exclusive guys.
Yeah, so like that's one that we're intimately familiar with, and we're buying exclusives like the rest of us, or like the rest of you guys. So we're right there with you.
100%.
How about you? What do you think?
I was gonna say Spyderco, just their fan base, not only the exclusives, but just all their drops.
Yeah, they go crazy.
Yeah.
They go absolutely crazy. All right, guys, as is tradition, I know you guys are expecting it. Pocket dumps. Everett, what you got, brother?
Started off, Unfound Leather Wallet. We've done a few exclusives with him. Check him out. He does awesome work.
Yes, he does.
Olight Baton 3. This was actually a birthday gift from the guys at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
And then M4 Mint Lightweight Pair 3 Blade HQ exclusive. We don't discriminate.
Yeah.
We just love knives.
We just love knives, baby. All right, Riley, what you got, brother?
I have my Endura, the teal S30V one.
You're not going to open it, man?
And then we have the Unfound Leather little wallet and my telephone.
I forgot to mention Raven Watch
Oh, yeah. Shout
Also
out Raven
available.
Watches.
at riveredgecutlery.com.
So I'm a big fan of loaner knives where we're always exchanging knives amongst the guys at REC. It's a great way to experience a knife without having to purchase it. Mm-hmm. Highly recommend that if you got knife friends. Just let them use your damn knives, man. And then they'll let you use their knives, and then you have to purchase fewer knives. Your wife's happier. It's all good. So I got, shout out Nick. I have Nick's Sabenza 21 with an awesome graphic on there. This thing is so sweet. Nothing sounds like this on clothes. I'm going to put it right here. Nothing sounds like that. That's so cool. It's the little things that get you. I also have a Vero Mini Fulcrum. I previously was not a huge pry bar guy. This one, if it's not in my back pocket, it's in the pocket of my backpack, and it's actually perfect for removing the liners out of PM2s and Para 3s without marring them up. This is an awesome tool. Frag pattern on this one. These are hard to find, so shout out Joseph.
A great size for hinderer pivots.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a good point.
Yep.
And then watch Tudor Black Bay from right when they switched over to in-house movements from ETI. Nice. So big watch guy. I know they got watch guys out there. Awesome guys. So there's a lot of knife memes that when I see them, I want to post them on our Instagram. But you know, I don't want to inundate our lovely followers with knife memes that I think are funny. So I have compiled a few of them, and I know you guys haven't seen them yet, but I want to show you guys these knife memes and show you guys these knife memes and see what you guys think of them. So we'll be flashing them up on the screen, but I'm going to show you guys this. This first one. You guys a second to watch this. This first one, I see this a lot with where a knife will release or images of it will come out and people will be like, oh my god, I hate that. And then their favorite YouTube reviewer talks about it for about 15 minutes and then it's their new favorite knife when they've never handled it. I love that.
That was kind of like our exclusive Para 3.
Yeah.
Everyone, or a lot of people didn't like the colors, but then once they got them, or once people talked about them, the hype was insane.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, it was just so far out of left field. So, shout out to you guys for designing a cool knife. I wish I could take credit on that. I wasn't even here yet, but this one I love. I think about this a lot because Christmas and birthdays are the best days of the year for knife guys because it's the only time that you can bring out your knife at a party and no one looks at you weird. And in fact,
everyone's looking to you because they know you're the guy.
Yes. And have you guys ever felt the absolute shame that comes from hey, I know you have a knife on you, and it's the one time that you don't have a knife in your pocket. That happened to me just the other day. We got to-go margaritas. You can get to-go margaritas now in Ohio. I don't know if you knew that. Since that's the one good thing that's come out of the COVID pandemic. You can get margaritas to go now, but they come sealed, obviously, so you're not drinking them in the car. Don't drink and drive. So we got home. We were going to put a straw in it, but they're sealed on the top with plastic. My dad looked at me and goes, oh, I know you have a knife. And I just shrunk in my chair and slipped away because I didn't have a knife on me, but that was horrible.
Even worse when you have a knife on you, but it's dull.
Oh.
So they're like trying to cut tape and it's just like breaking the tape.
Yes.
It's like,
And with me, it's like, doesn't your dad sharpen knives?
Well,
yes.
with me, it's like, weren't you the sharpener for X
You're like, I
amount of
actually.
time? Like, oh my gosh.
And it's even worse if you had just sharpened it that day. Okay, this one, I don't know, you might be a little too young. I used to watch this guy growing up. His name is Nut and Fancy.
Shout out Nut Fancy.
Yeah, shout out Nut and Fancy. He's one of the OG gear YouTubers
Absolutely.
out there. But carry a second knife in case the first one jams. I know I'm guilty of carrying 2 knives, one in the front, one in the back pocket. You ever carry 2?
Not often. Unless I have a fixed blade and a
That's
folder.
true.
This is exactly why I carry a fixed blade.
Yes, yeah, just in
For
case.
when my folder jams.
Yeah, in case it gets to this point and then it's just locked up like that. Yeah, absolutely. This one's a little too real. You know, this reminds me of Cole. You guys get that Cole vibe? Cole is a gentleman at our store, an employee. He's our sharpener. He inexplicably always has multi-$1,000 knives in his pocket and a whole Pelican case full of them. But that's who I think of when I see this meme. So Cole, I know you're watching, but
It's 100% Cole.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, I get this. If I sell plasma, I might be able to get that shiny new knife
Pulls up in his Camaro,
with his.
$2,000 GTC in his pocket.
Oh, that thing is sweet. This is awesome. Did you get that little lock wrong? This is actually why CRKT has that secondary lock, because you would never get that whoa mama feeling from that one. But I love that meme. This is a little bit of a technical meme for you guys. I don't know if you can picture blade shapes in your heads, but I'm now only referring. I'm now only referring to Tontos as reverse Warren
No
gloves.
longer a Tonto.
Yeah, that is horrifying, but that's what I got for you guys. Oh wait, no, one more. I know you guys will all be able to identify with this whenever someone comes in the store that is a bona fide expert. But I know more than you.
I get that a lot.
And a lot of times they do. So we have great customers and they're all very well informed, sometimes a little too well informed. All right, Ev, you got any questions from the good people out there on REC's Instagram?
Someone says, actually, Knife Joy asks,
Oh, cool.
Knife Joy / REC collaboration?
Absolutely. You guys are awesome. I would work with you any day of the week. Shout out to Knife Joy. You guys are awesome. Thanks.
Huge supporters. The owner almost every day has a lightweight pair of 3 Knife Joy in his pocket.
That's true.
He loves it.
That's true. And they buy our exclusives. We buy their exclusives.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. So
That needs to happen.
yeah. So if you guys were ever wondering if there's any weirdness or kind of competition between the retailers, no, everyone's cool.
We're all friends.
We all
We're all
support each
friends.
other.
Yeah. So shout
Well, yeah,
out
hit
Knife
us
Joy.
up.
Yeah. Seriously.
It looks like Zach's stuff says any Benchmade exclusive plans. We keep pressing them,
Yeah.
trying to get those. They say they're not really doing them. You kind of had to be grandfathered into their program.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, as of right now, no.
That would be really cool
That
though.
would be awesome.
We'd have to go a different direction color scheme wise,
Oh, yeah.
because Benchmade does ODFT
Yeah.
stuff already. But I mean, steel wise, handle
We could
material
do some
wise,
cool steel stuff.
there's always a different direction to go into. That would be really sweet.
Then the last question from D Southpaw. Can you coat my lens clip to match my guacamole shaman? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shoot us an email, sarahcoat@riversedgecutlery.com. We'll be in contact and we'll get that done.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. We underutilize you on the show. I don't know if you guys know, Everett is the manager. He runs the custom shop at River's Edge Cutlery. So what was the coolest thing you guys Cerakoted this week?
Probably the rock lobster.
Oh yeah, that was so
Came
cool.
out so good.
Yeah, for the homie Jesse.
Yep.
Yeah, so he was super excited about it. Jesse, I know you're watching.
Let's throw a picture up.
Yes, you now own the world's most badass Spyderco rock lobster. How about that Holt though?
The whole came out.
The Holt came out sweet. We'll throw up a picture of that one as well.
It looked factory.
It did.
It almost looked like it was shipped that way.
And that's the goal,
Exactly.
you know?
And performed like factory.
It sure
Yes, it did.
And then we got a bunch of responses when we posted that up saying, now I want to send my haptic in.
Yeah. So one of these
cool.
days you're going to have to take one of those haptics and throw it in your pocket and act like you forgot about it, right? Then you're a better man than me.
No.
I'm gonna hit him with an alrighty, guys, because that's my what is up, guys. I'm the alrighty guy. And someone did comment and say that I say absolutely and fantastic a lot.
Saw that.
Which, damn it, it's true. But that's why it hurts. Okay.
Paradigm shifting a lot as well.
You know. Okay, guys. You cut this part out. It was too much for my tiny ego to handle. Alrighty, guys. That's pretty much all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much, and thanks for all the support and love on the first episode of Rec Report. We're actually really, really excited to give you guys this content, to have this conversation with you all. The intention behind this was always to have a conversation with you guys. So whenever we're asking questions in the actual episode, put them in the comments. We want to hear what you guys have to say. We want to hear directions you want us to take this kind of thing in. If you want someone to come on this show, shoot them a message. Let them know that we're always interested. We want to get cool people on the shows. I know just coming up in the next couple weeks, we have some awesome collection videos that are going to be on here. We're going to be bringing in some of our awesome local customers, showing off their collections. A lot of them have absolutely insane collections, absolutely wild.
Some of these things, like, you can only wish to see in person.
Absolutely. I mean, Jamie's got 500 knives.
At least.
Yeah, so that's gonna be really, really cool. Also, August 7th, we got something cool going on. I've never been
REC meetup since COVID.
Yeah, big time.
We finally feel comfortable to open the doors and have everybody come in, bring your collections. We set up a space in the back of the store for everybody to hang out.
Yep.
Trade, whatever you need to do. Just meet other like-minded knife guys. It's always a fun time.
And like we were talking about earlier with doing pass-around knives around the shop, this is also an awesome way for you to come see knives you've only dreamt about, because the people who are showing up to this have insane collections. So that's going to be really, really cool.
May have a couple special guests. We're not sure.
Yeah.
But I know Kevin Smock said he'd like to try to make it. So
that would be really cool.
Hopefully his schedule
That'd be really,
lines
really
up.
cool. And you get to come and annoy the absolute crap out of Everett. So that's reason enough to
never
go,
annoying.
as far as I know. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. If you have questions for us to answer on the next episode, leave them down in the comments and we'll get to them for sure. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.
Sweet. Slide in Rec Report.